Good morning, students. I am going to start Unit 1 today, the random variable. So, before introducing the probability theory, let us study some important concepts of set theory. That means we should have basic knowledge on set theory. So, before introducing the probability theory, let us discuss about sets. The first one, set theory. What are the terms, different terms that we have to learn regarding set theory? Terms of set theory. First subtopic is terms of set theory. First of all, what is meant by set? A set is a collection of objects. A set can be defined as collection of objects. We can define set in another way also. A set is a collection of well-defined elements. Okay, we can define set in two ways. First way is it is a collection of objects, and second way is it is a collection of well-defined elements. So here braces are indicated here. The elements of set can be written within these braces only. Example is given here. Set can be represented with the letter, capital letter, any letter you may take. Here capital A is equal to set 1, 2, 3, and set B is equal to 2, 3, 5, 6. Here set A contains 3 elements, set B contains 4 elements. So set can be denoted with capital letter. Any letter you may take. You may take capital A or you may take capital B, or you may take capital X also. So any letter we may take, but it should be a capital letter, and the elements of set can be must be written within the braces only. Okay, next definition is empty set or null set. Empty set or null set. What is meant by empty set? The name itself indicates that a set with no elements is called empty set. That means empty set does not contain any element. It should be represented with the 5. So empty set, the name itself indicates that the set which contains no elements is called empty set or null set. Next definition is equal sets. How can we say that two sets are equal? For example, if you consider set A and set B, how can we say that both sets are equal? Both sets are equal if and only if both sets contain same elements. Same elements. For example, set A is equal to within the braces 1, 2, 3, and set B is equal to within the braces 1, 2, 3. Then both sets contain same elements 1, 2, 3. Then we can say that both sets are equal. That means both sets have common elements 1, 2, 3. There is no other element at all. Okay. So next definition is disjoint sets. What is meant by disjoint sets? The two definitions, equal sets and disjoint sets, both are quite opposite. Both are completely opposite to each other. In case of equal sets, both sets contain same elements. But in case of disjoint sets, both sets contain different elements. For example, if you take set A is equal to 1, 2, 3, and set B is equal to 4, 5, 6. There is no common element for the two sets A and B. So we can say that both sets A and B are called disjoint sets because they have no common element. Both the elements of both sets are different. there is no common element. That's why we can say that both sets are called disjoint sets. Disjoint sets are also called as mutually exclusive sets. Okay, next definition is subset. What is meant by subset? Here, all of you see this example. Set A is equal to 2, 3, 5. Set B is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Set A has 3 elements, whereas set B has 6 elements. Set B has 6 elements. But set A has 3 elements, 2, 3, 5. These elements are also present in set B. The elements in set A. What are the elements in set A? 2, 3, 5. These 3 elements are also present in set B. So we can say that A is a subset of B. That means A is part of B. We can also say that A is part of B because all elements of set A are also present in set B. Then we can say that set A is subset of set B. Okay. Next, for example, if you consider set A is equal to 2, 3, 5, 7 and set B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here, in addition to these 3 elements, set A has 7, but 7 is not present in set B. So in this case, we cannot say that A is subset of B. We cannot say that A is subset of B because 7 is not present in B. Okay, if you consider 7 also here in A, that 7 is not present in B, then in this case we cannot say A is subset of B because 7 is not present, isn't it? So if a set A is a subset of B, then every element of set A is also an element in set B. Then only we can say that A is subset of B. Otherwise we cannot say. Okay. Next definition is universal set. What is meant by universal set? Universal set means all of you once see the definition. All of you once see the definition. What is meant by universal set? A set which contains all the elements of given system is called universal set. Here, one example is given below. Then you can easily understand the definition for universal set. For example, if you consider an experiment called tossing a coin. Tossing a coin. If you toss a coin, the outcome may be head or the outcome may be tail. Okay, so how can we write universal set for this experiment? Universal set capital X is equal to within the braces head comma tail. Those are mentioned here. Universal set capital X is equal to head comma tail because these two are the outcomes of an experiment like tossing a coin. Okay, so if you consider another example, that is throwing a die. Die has 6 faces. That means this experiment has 6 outcomes. Okay, so if you throw a die, you may get 1 or you may get 2, you may get 3, like that you may get 6, etc. You may get 6. That means you may get any number. So what are the outcomes of this experiment? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is called universal set for this experiment. Okay. So like that, you can define universal set by containing all the elements. Okay. All the elements means, all the elements of system means, given system means all the possible outcomes of an experiment. Okay, is it clear? If you toss a coin, you have two outcomes. The outcome may be head or the outcome may be tail. So the universal set X is written as head comma tail. If you throw a die has 6 faces, that means 6 numbers. So any number you may get as outcome. So universal set capital X is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So these are all the definitions. Let us revise once. What are the definitions that we learned? First definition is what is meant by set. First definition is what is meant by set. What is meant by set? The set is a collection of elements. The set is a collection of objects or it is a collection of well-defined elements. Okay, next, what is the definition for equal sets? What is the definition for empty set or null set? Next, equal sets, disjoint sets, subset, universal set. So these are the important definitions. Okay, next let us discuss second point, that is set operations. What are the operations that can be performed on set? First operation is union. I think in mathematics all of you learned about union, intersection. So all these set operations you know, I think. So what is meant by union? What is meant by intersection? So let us see once. Let us revise once. So what is meant by union? Union means here Venn diagram is given here. Set A contains 3 elements 1, 2, 3. Set B contains 4 elements 3, 4, 5, 6. So in this case A union B can be written as all the elements of both A and B. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have to consider all the elements in set A and set B. Okay, here 3 is present in set A and 3 is also present in set B. But you should not write 3 2 times. Only you have to write once. So A union B becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next, intersection. What is meant by intersection? For example, if you consider this diagram, the elements of A are 1, 2, 3. The elements of B are 3, 4, 5, 6. So how can we write intersection? Intersection means common element. What is the common element for these two sets? What is the common element for these two sets? 3, because 3 is present in set A and 3 is also present in set B. So 3 is the common element. So A intersection B becomes 3. A intersection B is equal to, within the braces you have to write 3. Okay. Next one, difference of sets. What is meant by difference of sets? Okay. The set of all elements of A that are not in B is called difference of A and B. For example, here we have shaded portion. This shaded portion is A only. In this shaded portion, B is not included. Okay. So, actually from the portion of A, you have to subtract B. If you see the portion of A, from this portion you have to subtract B. Where is B? This common portion. This common portion you have to neglect. So remaining shaded portion becomes A minus B. Or simply you can say that it is A only. B is not included in this portion. This can be written as A minus B. Okay. For example, if you take the same example which is considered above, set A is equal to 1, 2, 3, set B is equal to 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, then how can we calculate A minus B for this example? Please consider the same example which is considered in the above session. Sorry, above operation. A set A contains 1, 2, 3. Set B contains 3, 4, 5, 6. If you consider the same example, then what is the value of A minus B? What is the value of A minus B? A minus B means only 1, 2. Here it is written. Because A minus B means you have to consider the portion of A only. Only A. So neglect B portion if there is any. So this shaded area is A only. It contains this shaded portion contains only two elements 1, 2. So see this diagram. Only two elements are present in A. This portion only 1, 2. You should not consider this common portion for calculating A minus B. Only you have to consider the region of A only, not B. Okay. Next one. Next operation is complement of a set. Complement of a set. So what is meant by complement? Already in mathematics you learned about. I think you know about complement. Complement means it can be written as A bar or A dash. For example, if you consider a set A, then complement of set can be written as A bar. Okay. So actually complement of set A you have to calculate. Okay. Complement of set A can be calculated as A means you have to consider set A simply. There is no confusion in that. But how can we calculate complement for this? Complement means reverse, inverse. Complement means inverse. So you should not consider this A. Except this portion, you have to consider everything in the sample space. Okay, this is called sample space. This entire box is called sample space. Okay, but you have to find A complement. Complement of set A you have to find. Set A means simply you can consider this region, set A. But you have to find complement of A complement, A bar. So what you have to do is, except A, you have to consider everything. So this shaded portion is nothing but A complement. Okay. Actually this box is nothing but sample space. Okay. But from this entire sample space, you have to eliminate set A because you are calculating A complement. Okay. This also can be written as S minus A. That means sample space minus A. You are subtracting, that means you are removing set A from sample space. This is called complement of set A or A bar. Okay. So this shaded portion is nothing but S minus A. From the entire sample space, you are removing set A. You are subtracting set A. So this becomes complement of set A. Okay. Next operation is disjoint sets or mutually exclusive sets. I think in the definitions only I told you what is meant by disjoint sets or mutually exclusive sets. Okay, if you consider two sets, capital A and capital B, what are the elements of set A from this diagram? 1, 3. What are the elements of set B? 2, 4. There is no common element for these two sets. Then these two sets are called disjoint sets or mutually exclusive sets. Okay, because there is no common element at all. So in this case, you have to write like this: A intersection B is equal to pi. Pi means null value. Pi indicates null value. Pi indicates null value. Okay, there is no common element. That's why you have to write A intersection B is equal to 5. There is no common element between for the sets A and B. So you have to write A intersection B is equal to 5. These two sets are called disjoint sets or mutually exclusive sets. Okay. Once please go through the operations, set operations. What are the operations that we have discussed till now? Set operations, first one is union. Union means you have to consider each and every element of two sets. Okay. Union operation can be performed between two sets. So union operation means you have to consider each and every element of both sets. Okay. So each and every element you have to consider. You are not supposed to neglect even single element also. So you have to consider each and every element. What is meant by intersection? You have to consider common element only. What is the common element for these two sets? 3. Okay. So A intersection B is equal to 3 only, because only 3 is the common element. So that is called intersection. Next, difference of sets. Difference of sets. If the problem is given like this, calculate A minus B, then you have to subtract B region from A region. For example, first circle is A region. Entire first circle is A region. But from this region, you have to subtract B. Where, in which portion B is included? Here, in this portion only. So you have to neglect this portion, and remaining part only you have to consider. This is called A minus B, which is also called difference of sets. Okay. So if you consider, if you apply this same example for this diagram also, then in this shaded region you will find only two elements, 1, 2. So difference of sets A minus B is equal to 1, 2 only. Okay. In this shaded region only two elements we have. Those are 1, 2 only. Okay. See this. Only 1, 2 are present in shaded area. So A minus B is equal to 1, 2. Next, complement of a set. How can we calculate complement of a set? Generally, set A means you have to consider this small circle only. Set A means you have to consider this portion. But it is given that you have to calculate complement of set A. Complement of set A means reverse of this operation. That means except set A, you have to consider the remaining portion in sample space. This shaded portion is also called S minus A, because from the sample space you are neglecting or you are removing set A. That is called complement of set A. It can be written as S minus A. Next, disjoint sets are mutually exclusive sets. These two sets have no common elements, because set A is equal to 1, 3, set B is equal to 2, 4. There is no common element at all. So A intersection B can be written as 5. These two sets are called disjoint sets or mutually exclusive sets. Next, let us go for loss of sets. Loss of sets. Okay. These names are very familiar to you. First one is commutative law, second one distributive law, third one associative law, fourth one De Morgan's law. Okay, all these laws you know already. Okay, you knew that. First one, commutative law. What is meant by commutative law? A union B is equal to B union A. A intersection B is equal to B intersection A. That means union and intersection operations can be interchangeable, okay, between the variables. That means you can interchange the variable names. A union B, B union A. Both are same. Okay, because union means you have to consider each and every element in both sets. Okay, so order is not important here. First you may write A, First you may write B also. Second you may write second place, in the second place you may write B or you may write A. There is no difference at all. Similarly, for intersection operation also, A intersection B is equal to B intersection A. We are interchanging the names of sets. Okay, but there is no problem regarding this. Next one, second one is distributive law. According to distributive law, we have two statements. First one is A union B intersection C is equal to A union B intersection A union C. Next, A intersection B union C is equal to A intersection B union A intersection C. Here what is happening is this intersection, in the first case, this intersection operation is distributed. That's why this is called distributive law. This intersection operation is distributed, okay, between the operations A union B. First you have to write A union B. Next you have to write intersection. Next you have to write A union C. This intersection operation is distributed between the two operations, two individual operations. Similarly, in the second case, this union operation is distributed between two individual operations. Okay, first you have to write A intersection B union A intersection C. So A intersection B union A intersection C. This union operation is distributed between the two individual operations. Next, we have associative law. What is associative law? A union B union C is equal to A union B union C. Or simply you may write like this, A union B union C, because union is the combination of all the elements. Union operation is you have to consider each and every element of all the sets. So you may write this operation in any manner. Okay, because we have two unions here. Here also we have two unions, same operations. So you may write like this. Next, A intersection B intersection C is equal to A intersection B intersection C. So here also both are intersection operations only. Intersection means common elements for the sets. So you may write like this. Okay. Here operations are not changed. Same operations. In the first case union, second case intersection. Next one is De Morgan's laws. These laws are very important. First law is A intersection B whole bar is equal to A bar union B bar. A intersection B whole bar is equal to A bar union B bar. Second one, A union B whole bar is equal to A bar intersection B bar. Okay. Next, third law under De Morgan's laws is A bar whole bar is equal to A. Already you know that if you complement any variable two times, then you will get that variable only. Here we are complementing A two times. So you will get original A only. Okay. What you have to remember is these De Morgan's laws are based on complements. Observe this point. These De Morgan's laws are based on finding the complements of sets and corresponding and the operations between the sets. So De Morgan's laws are based on finding complements. Next, let us introduce the probability. Let us discuss about probability. So introduction to probability. Okay. So what is meant by probability? Probability. Already in mathematics you learned. What is meant by probability? Probability means chance of getting something. Chance of getting something. Remember this point. Probability means chance of getting something. Okay. That means it is completely based on prediction. Prediction of values, prediction of what is happening, what will happen in the future. For example, if you consider weather forecasting report, the chances of getting, the chances of receiving rain today is 56%. The chances of receiving rain tomorrow is 22%. Like that, we have percentages. If you see the weather forecasting report, you will have percentages. Percentages means the expectation, prediction or guess. Prediction is also called guess. Okay, the prediction of what will happen in the future. Okay, chances means depending upon the percentage, we have to decide what is the, depending upon the percentage, we may tell that what is the chances of getting, what is the chance of getting, or what is the chance of occurring, or what is the chance of receiving rain, like that. For example, if you invest money in stock, that means in shares, you may lose money or you may get profit. So we don't know. Based on the present market situations, we may invest the money, but we don't know exactly what will happen in the future. Okay, so based on some prediction only, we are investing money. Similarly, we are playing games. We don't know whether we win or we lose. Okay, but with self-confidence, we are playing games. Not only games, we are performing experiments also in the laboratories. So we don't know whether we win or not. But based on prediction that I will win the game. Based on the prediction, we assume that I will win the game, and we will put efforts, more efforts in getting the required thing. Okay. So similarly, some medical treatments are also going on based on the prediction of it. Okay. For example, if doctors do operation, then they may get success or failure, whatever it may happen. But based on prediction only, they are performing complex operations. So here, many things are based on prediction only. Okay, prediction means guessing. So the probability means chance of getting something. Okay, already I explained two experiments, tossing a coin and throwing a die. We don't know the outcome of an experiment. But chances of if you toss a coin, chance of getting head is 50%, chance of getting tail is 50%. Because we have only two outcomes for the experiment. Okay, 1 by 2, 1 by 2. That is the probabilities for getting head and tail respectively. But if you throw a die, you may get the number 1, or you may get the number 2, you may get 3, you may get 4, you may get 5, you may get 6. So what is the probability for each outcome? For getting 1 is, if you throw a die, for getting 1, the probability is 1 by 6, because we have 6 outcomes. Okay. So the probability of getting number 2 is again 1 by 6. So like that, we have 1 by 6, 1 by 6, 1 by 6. For all the outcomes, the probability is 1 by 6, because we have 6 outcomes. Okay. Next, let us discuss some definitions regarding some definitions regarding the probability in next class. I think all of you understood this class. Not only this class, for any class, if you have any doubts, please call me at any time. Okay, don't hesitate to call me. Okay.